Hello and welcome to my kitchen. My name is Sherry and today is Slow Cooker Sunday. So today we are going to be making some sweet corn pudding, which sounds about as crazy as a cookie salad. But such things exist. We eat things like that here in the Midwest. But before I get started, if this is your first time here, you love food, you love fun, you love slow cooker recipes, go ahead and hit the subscribe button as well as the notification bell, and be sure to check the description below for details on how subscribing helps to feed the hungry. Okay, so for this corn pudding, you are going to need about 4 ears of fresh corn. And I started with 6 because in addition to the fresh corn, you're also going to need some cream corn. So obviously you can just use a can of cream corn. I like to make it myself. So that's the first step that I'm going to do. And I'm going to show you how I make the cream corn. But again, if you don't want to make it, you can use just a regular can of cream corn. So get my guard off of there. So this is our, what's it called? A kernel cutter, I guess. So this makes it really, really easy to take off the kernels from the corn cob. I don't know if I'm making it look that easy. It's definitely easier than using a knife. A little bit more here. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and finish up this one real quick. All right, I think that's pretty good. So I'm going to toss these to the side. Actually, those are going to go in the compost, so I don't want to put those in the trash. I'm going to move this out of the way, and I'm going to pull my blender over. So I'm going to make this in my cooking blender. So we're just going to take the lid off, and we're going to take all of this corn and put it right down in the blender. And to this, I am going to add a half a cup of milk. I'm going to add a couple of tablespoons of sugar. I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of heavy whipping cream, a pinch, just a pinch of cayenne. See if we can get a pinch out of here. That's good. And a pinch of nutmeg. So you guys know I love to use this kind of nutmeg. If you don't have this on hand, you can just use the regular dried stuff, or the powdered stuff, I should say. So a tiny bit is all we need, right over the top. Now you can do this on the stove top, but I like to do this in the cooking blender because it blends everything and cooks it at the same time. So I'm going to use the sauce setting on here. So we'll turn it on. I'm just going to turn it to the sauce setting, and I'm going to push start. Now, while this starts to cook and blend, I also have 2 tablespoons each of butter and flour. So I'm going to melt this in the microwave and stir this into it. And then when this gets to the second stage, it's going to say add. So this is going to be a roux. And if you don't know what a roux is, it's just a thickener that you add to like soups and stews and that sort of thing. So we're going to use this in our creamed corn. So when it gets to the second stage and it says add, this is going to go in here. But I'll show you that in a second. So I'm going to go ahead and push start. Okay, so our blender just beeped and it says add. So this is the part where we're going to add our roux. So again, this is just equal parts melted butter and flour, 2 tablespoons each. So I'm just opening up the top, sliding it right down in there. You see that steam, how it's already cooking? All right, we're going to replace that. I'm going to hit start, and it should be done in just a few minutes. All right, so our cream corn is done, and it is steaming. Smells good. Okay, so if I was going to serve this just as it is, as a side dish, I would go ahead and add some more corn to this, a couple more ears, so that it is actually cream corn and not emulsified corn. But because I'm just going to put this in my corn pudding, I don't think it's really going to matter. So I'm just going to go ahead and take the pitcher and pour this into my slow cooker, which already has 8 ounces of cream cheese in there. So, and it's already in there because I wanted to soften it up. So I went ahead and put it in the microwave for just a little bit. And this thing I'm able to take out and put in the microwave. So if you're not able to do that with your slow cooker, just put it in a little bowl, soften it up before you stick it in here. All right. And because that's hot, this is going to help soften up that cream cheese a little bit too. So I'm going to go ahead and stir these together. And I'm going to add in my corn. So that was an additional 4 ears of corn. And once that is stirred together really well, I'm going to add in 8 ounces of cream cheese. Now I'm also going to add in a couple of eggs here in a minute, but I want to make sure that I add the cold ingredients first. Because this is hot, if I go ahead and put the eggs in there, as is, they're going to cook and scramble up, and we don't really want that to happen. So we want to cool this down a little bit. So you want to make sure you put these ingredients in first. So 8 ounces of sour cream, and that was 8 ounces of cream cheese we used, and then 8 ounces of cheddar cheese. So it's really easy to remember, 8 ounces of each. So I'm going to stir that together. Then we're going to add in a 1/2 cup of buttermilk. If you don't have buttermilk, you can take 1 cup of, actually I did half of this, but you can take a cup of milk and put it in here and add a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar or white vinegar. Let it sit for about 10-15 minutes and you'll have buttermilk or something similar to it, a buttermilk substitute. So I halved that. I did 1/2 cup of milk and I did a 1/2 tablespoon of the vinegar. All right, so this is probably cooled down a little bit, but I'm going to go ahead and add in a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, a 1/4 cup of sugar. This may or may not be a little more than a 1/4 cup. I'm going to stir this together. And then I'm going to add in a whole box of Jiffy cornbread mix. And now it's probably safe to add my 2 eggs. Oh, and one thing I forgot to mention is my little Kernel Cutter actually has these on the side, and that is to cut the husk with. I had already taken the husk off, so I didn't get to show you that part, but it does 2 little jobs. And this looks like it is stirred up pretty well. So I'm going to go ahead and replace the lid on here, and I'm going to set my I'm going to set my low cooker to slow. I'm going to set the slow cooker to high, actually. And we're going to leave it on high. We're going to let this cook for 5 hours. All right, our corn pudding is done. I wish you guys could smell what I smell. This smells so good. And as you can see, it's not really a pudding. I guess it kind of is. It's like a bread pudding. That's the way it sets up. So hopefully I didn't burn the edges. I had this up kind of high. Sometimes I forget how hot the slow cooker gets. So we are going to put a little bit of that in there. And then I'm going to top this off. I'm making a mess here. I'm going to top this off with a tiny bit of sour cream. Just have a small portion for myself here. And a little bit of green onions on top. All right, let's give it a try. It's warm and creamy. It's a little bit sweet, but not too sweet. And I love the chives on top. I love the tanginess, I guess it gives it. I don't know. The chives really make a difference, though, on there. Really, really good. Oh, it's hot. This is going to be one of those recipes, though, you want to bookmark this video because this is going to be great for holidays. People will just eat this up. Absolutely delicious. So I hope you guys will definitely give this one a try. Let me know what you think in the comments. I thank you so much for watching. Bye.